The woman was sound asleep. A strange man leaned over and kissed her, but his face started to rot away. Turns out he was a mummy. He wanted to wake his long-dead lover. Over 3,000 years ago, he was Imhotep, a high priest of ancient Egypt. The pharaoh had a stunningly beautiful wife named Anna. To keep other men from touching her, the pharaoh himself painted her entire body with sacred designs. But once the pharaoh left the palace, Imhotep and Anna secretly fell in love. In their passion, he accidentally smudged the paint on her arm. Right at that moment, the pharaoh suddenly returned. Imhotep hurried to hide, but the smudged paint on her arm gave everything away. Their affair was about to be exposed. As the pharaoh turned to follow her gaze, Imhotep appeared right behind him. He drew the sword from his waist. Anna seized the moment and pulled out a dagger. She stabbed the pharaoh. The pharaoh let out a scream and fell dead. The guards rushed in, alerted by the scream. To protect Imhotep, Anna stayed behind. She chose to face them alone. She blocked the palace guards. Before dying, she still believed that Imhotep would bring her back to life. Sure enough, not long after, Imhotep stole her body. He began the resurrection ritual. But just before Anna could fully awaken, the ritual was interrupted. The pharaoh's guards discovered what was happening. They captured him on the spot. They mummified all 18 of his priests and sentenced him to the cruelest punishment of all, the curse of the flesh-eating scarabs. First, they cut out his tongue, then wrapped his body tightly in linen and poured live flesh-eating beetles onto him. The bugs began their gruesome feast. In the end, his soul was sealed inside a sarcophagus, buried deep within the pharaoh's tomb, condemned for eternity. But today he's been awakened, all thanks to a pair of curious siblings on an expedition. They accidentally found an ancient treasure map. It pointed to a lost Egyptian city that had vanished for nearly 1,000 years. It was the burial ground of generations of pharaohs, said to be filled with endless treasures. The brother was greedy for gold. The sister was obsessed with ancient Egyptian culture. So the two teamed up and set out across the desert with their crew. But what they didn't know was, many had gone treasure hunting before them, and almost none had returned. That's why the pharaoh's tomb was known as the City of the Dead. In the golden sea of sand, the City of the Dead slowly emerged. Everyone cheered and ran toward it. They found the statue of Anubis marked on the map. They entered through a tunnel beneath its legs. The first chamber they saw was a mummification room. They kept going, but the door ahead was locked. The man told his crew to pry it open, but suddenly a cloud of gas burst out. The group was instantly melted by a high concentration of acid mist. All that remained were skeletons. Not long after, the sister found the high priest's coffin deep inside. They tried to open it. Then they realized the box that held the map was also the key to the coffin. They opened it. A dried-up corpse shot out immediately. Inside, the walls were covered with deep claw marks. They guessed that the high priest had been buried alive. He must have suffered terribly before he died. Meanwhile, the others found a treasure chest. They opened it together. Inside was the Book of the Dead and 4 sacred statues. Wanting the treasure for himself, the man clutched them tightly in his arms, not letting anyone else touch them. Later that night, the sister secretly stole the book. She was just curious about what it said. When she followed the illustrations and read the spell aloud, the mummy they just unearthed came back to life.